Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to shed light on some gray area as it relates to this aviation practice. Now, particularly the time we are in now, we are in the seasons of weather inclement. And what do I mean by that? It may be favorable sometimes and it may not be favorable, particularly for flight operations. Because flight operations, the only enemy it has is adverse weather. And the good thing is that we have technology to be able to detect if it's there and of course and avoid it. And in the process of avoiding it, there's going to be delays and cancellations. All is for good. It's just to ensure that when the airplane takes off, it takes you, the passenger, to your destination safely. That is the essence of observing the situation of the weather as it is now.
Okay. Now, the weather at this period is bad due to the Harmattan haze. When flights are delayed, what are the responsibility of the airlines to the passengers?
Basically, the good thing about this issue of weather is that you, as an airline or flight crew, mandatorily the flight crew of every aircraft that is going to take off are expected to obtain the weather information. They do what is called briefing, and they must obtain it, study it. What is the weather on the route? What is the weather at the destination point? What is the weather at the origination of the flight point? When you study it, and if it's adverse, then you immediately communicate it to the affected passengers of your own flight. Because the good thing is that every passenger, you obtain their contact when they are getting your ticket. And now when there is a situation that warrants you not going to go, then of course you bulk SMS, bulk email, you send it across to them immediately so that they will not need to come to the airport. But where they have arrived at the airport before the adverse weather comes up, then in that case you take further step again. Maybe if it's a local flight, it could be some explanation, an apology. If it's a delay, they go on for a while, then you may offer some refreshment. But it's a different ball game if it's international flight. If it's international flight, it's taken for granted that the people that have come where they have arrived at the airport before the changes, then you may need to board them in a hotel, or alternatively you compensate. But however, adverse weather, when it happens, that flight must not go if it's adverse weather.
Okay. Now, sir, recently there have been reports in the social media of certain airlines delaying passengers and not giving the passengers reasons why their flights are being delayed, and no apology whatsoever from such an airline. What's in this situation? How can the NCAA come in? Because such social media reports is really giving a bad name to the industry.
There are ways, more than one way of looking at this. For example, if an airline take all its passengers, delay the flight over and over, no explanation, honestly speaking, if NCAA get the report, NCAA will move in, investigate, and ascertain what actually happened and impose appropriate sanction.
How do you get the reports?
Yeah, the report comes in two ways.
Okay.
For example, you know, the consumer protection, we have a very strengthened and strong consumer protection department, and they are at the airport running a shift at the major gateway. They are there 24/7 at the major gateways. Other than that, they are in all other airports. But having said that, they also monitor. But remember, if a passenger has a complaint, he need to complain to his airline. Where is dissatisfied with the handling, you report to NCAA, because NCAA need a report to work with. It's just like somebody saying, why has EFCC not arrested every corrupt person in Nigeria? The law says there must be a complaint. They work on complaint, on petition. So somebody has to complain, and you need to get to the airline, because most of the time, sometimes we get some complaint without the knowledge of the airline. The airline, when we summon them, they give us established fact that they have not notified, they would have solved the problem.
Okay.
So, but meanwhile, what the regulation requires is that as a passenger, if you have a complaint, approach your airline. If you are not satisfied, report to NCAA. But when an issue happens and our officers are there, if it's at the airport where they are, of course we take it up immediately by way of summoning the airline and get them to compensate where necessary.
Okay, but over the years, I know you have been getting some complaints from passengers of delays and cancellation of flights. Lately, we see many passengers, when they are aggrieved, rather than go to the airline, they go on social media to start making, complaints. And of course, a lot of people will want to join in it to also tell their own story of the problems they have experienced.
Yeah,
NCAA has a social media platform. Do you monitor the social media?
We do. Every day, officers are on it 24/7. We do also. But, I want to make it very clear that people should believe in their organization. We are established to serve Nigerians. You see, everybody has commended us. NCAA has on safety. You are there. We are category 1. Now, let's have value for our money. And that is another focus. That was why that department was created. We are not created to take away the role of a court. The court is there for adjudication. If you are not satisfied with even our own decision, you can go to court. But the ICAO, that is International Civil Aviation Organization, that come up with this idea of consumer protection. We are even the first to set it up in Africa. Okay. As soon as ICAO recommended it, it's advisory, it's an advocacy to take away people's, this idea of having to solve people's problems, not having to go to court. Because when you go to court, it's going to cost you money, it's going to cost you time. So we bring the parties together, but we also sanction. Remember, where appropriate. And we do sanction airlines on these, but we have not made it a subject of a media show. Okay. Because that you fine an airline or you penalize by way of warning is a sanction. If we publish a warning to an airline, they feel so hot. So we know the implication also. Since the essence is not to regulate the organization out of existence, we want to encourage them also, but we do sanction. And airlines are paying fine quietly, and I'm talking of millions as fine. We do. But that is what I want.
On matters of passenger dissatisfaction.
On all issues, we do sanction them.
Okay.
Airlines have been sanctioned 24 million that they are working as a due to pay the fine. All these are going on. Okay. But it's for people to take advantage. If you are not satisfied, come here. Rather than going to court, take a lawyer and all the time and process, just file the complaint and they will contact you through the contact point you put there.
Okay, but sir, if you monitor the social media and there are complaints by passengers, do you take it up with the airlines immediately?
We do.
Instead of waiting for the passenger to...
Essence of that is why you have the contact in your the complaint for indicate your complaint, your name, your phone, email, and all the rest. Once that complaint comes in, they summon the airline, and of course they will invite even the person that you must be authentic. Whatever you put there must be real. So we summon the two parties and bring them to a table and discuss and reach a remedy. That is how it's always done.
Okay.
But it cannot be that once you just file a complaint, we are going to be summoning an organization. We are going to be asking you to come. Maybe you have traveled to your destination. So it's going to take a time for the two of you to bring you to a round table. You understand? So it cannot just be that you drop the form today and we'll be able to get everybody just 24 hours. No. Because sometimes the airline that you have a complaint again may not even have its base in that destination point. Okay. You could have a complaint from Port Harcourt and the airline base is in Kano. Yeah. So when you are summoning the CEO. And for him to respond and get, if he's not available at that time, maybe to distract who can, accountable officer. All of this takes time. Sometimes some people do not want to wait. Even what do people cash on? Sometimes to extort money from people. It's because you are in a hurry.
Okay.
But if you know your right, stand on your right and claim your right.
Okay. Now, for emphasis sake,
yes.
What are airlines supposed to do when their flights are to be delayed? Maybe because of weather, or maybe because of a snag, in the aircraft, or anything untoward that will cause harm to the aircraft. What is the first step? First
and foremost, let the public be in the know. And what do I mean by public? Your passengers. You see, as soon as there is a problem, develop, be honest, be sincere. If your airplane has a problem, technical, that I have to repair it, be honest. I was coming to Lagos from Heathrow, BA flight develop problem. They announced that this plane has a technical problem, they have to repair it. And when they finish repairing it, they certify it okay, they announce again. Don't say it's operational. You understand?
Define the operational.
Define the operational issue. If it's weather, announce it on time. If it's fuel that is an issue, after all, you're going to buy the fuel from somewhere. And if the fuel is scarce, explain it on time. Let the people know the problem they have in their hand. I have faced a flight delay that cost me 24-hour delay from New York to Atlanta, and I missed Lagos leg of the flight. I spent another extra day. So it happens everywhere, but we are being told constantly what we are to expect. So airlines should be honest to attend to their passenger. This is what we have on our hand. I came on Uyo to Lagos one time. The airline delayed our flight by some hours. They sent a text message to us so that we didn't leave our hotel. Do this. Whatever is the problem, say it on time. Let the people program their business and their contact or whatever they want to do.
Okay, but sir, you will agree with me that most of our domestic airlines do not do this. And when they don't do so and passengers are complaining, what do you do? How do you take up the issue?
If we get it, I just told you that we sanction the airline, they are paying fines. You understand? And because we have not publicized most of these things, it's also not to regulate people out of existence. How many are they?
But how do we pacify the passengers?
Look, let me tell you, if you are not afraid of losing one passenger, you end up losing all. Airlines is not one. There are options. There are airlines that if you fly one today, it delays you. You fly the next day. You are not tied to one. So airlines should take responsibility that if you don't please or not, you don't care not to lose one, you end up losing all the passengers.
Okay, but sir,
and there are options. I'm just saying that so that passengers should know the power they have also. Make a choice and let them sit up also. But however, we are here on our own, do what we need to do to wipe them to order. And passengers will also cooperate by taking advantage of that body. They are all at the airport. Report, and if we didn't take action, go to the world and say it.
Okay, so sir, when an airline is apologizing to the passengers for delaying their flights, how should the airline, push out that apology?
Of course, every form of apology must be with respect. Every form of apology, you must be polite. You must hold on to your even husband and wife at home. Sometimes a husband apologizes to his wife when he's not at fault for sake of peace. So you are owning up. Passengers is the king. He has an option. And so you delay their flight. They miss. Somebody is going for a wedding at 10 o'clock and he didn't get to the wedding venue until 6 p.m. And you think you didn't owe that person an apology? Apology from the heart. You must choose your words. You must come with respect. You must come with remorse. You must be polite. You must own up to your whatever. And the fact remains that it's not free. There must be value for money. You must respect your passengers. And once you don't do this, you may soon be history.
Okay, but sir, most times when things like this happen, they blame the regulatory agency. They will say the regulatory agency is not carrying out its function. Probably they are covering up for the airlines. No. What can you say about this?
We are not a busybody. You understand?
But you regulate the industry.
I know. People want us to do the work of a busybody. How many airports in Nigeria? How many flights? Are we in every place? Do we have all the information about every or some inconveniences? This complaint report. We have evidence. When there is no evidence, you become a busybody. Do you know call people busybody? What evidence do you have that I delayed the flight? That I didn't? You understand? You must. What evidence did I have that you lose your bag?
Okay, but how can you extricate yourself from what passengers are saying?
We are doing a lot, and we will continue to try to do what we are doing, improve on it. The passenger has a right to complain. It is for us to assess, review what they have said about us, review what is going on also on the feed, and improve. It can always be better.
Okay, so what will now be your message to the passengers first?
My message to the passengers is that number one, the place to go is not social media. The place to go, the report to the NCAA. Oh, how do I know the NCAA? We have display terminals that point of sale that are giving announcement. We have the way uniform. We have them at the airport. NCAA, consumer protection, know your right, and take advantage of this so that at least for once to see whether we really act on your complaint or not. Take advantage of those men so that we can have a fact to work with. When you go to the social media, it become a busybody. Everybody have access to it. It's a new normal. We cannot regulate social media. But however, we are saying, come to us. We will handle it. If we didn't please you, then go to the social media.
Okay, so what will also be your message to the airlines? Because they are actually...
The airlines should also not give us a bad name. They should do what they need to do. But I always have something, and I will not hold back on that. If you are not afraid of losing your one passenger, you end up losing all. It's not every airline that started that still in business. It's not every bank that started business in Nigeria or anywhere in the world that are still in business. If there is one thing that can keep a business growing, it is in gaining more passengers, not in losing.
Okay.
So it's a challenge. The airline should work at it. Human being is the most difficult, is the greatest asset God created. It's also the greatest problem to manage. We have to manage it. If it's cargo will not complain. The human being will complain. We have to bear with it, we have to live with it and learn how to persevere and manage them.
Okay, so maybe lastly, just tell our listeners your responsibility in the industry.
Basically, NCAA as a Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority exists to ensure that aircraft that is carrying passengers and cargo move from one place safely to the other without any problem. That is the only reason why we exist. And in doing that, we ensure that both the aircraft is airworthy at all times. We ensure that those who are flying are qualified and they are healthy and they are certificated and they are current to do it and they know what they are doing. And of course, the environment which is operating, which is airport and the airspace, is also well manned with current and serviceable navigational aids, with personnel that are also current and fit and qualified. So we oversee the totality of all this, not just the aircraft alone, the aircraft itself, those who work on it, those who train the personnel that work on it, and of course the managers and the facility from where it's operating. All of this put together, we ensure that everybody is doing the right thing so that we continue to move from one point to the other. And to God be the glory, 7 years gone, we have been operating safely and we continue to with the support of everybody. And all of us has a role to play. If you see an aircraft wobbling, sounding unusual or smoking, God forbid, alert the police in your village. They know what to do. That information will get to us. Once we can establish the time, the day that fly through your place, that you notice something unusual, we'll know we will establish which aircraft is that and on which airline, and we'll be able to take action. Everybody has a role to play when it comes to safety. And once we operate safely, the rest is small. The passenger, it is because we operate safely, we are not talking on comfort. So comfort also, we will address it from time to time until we get there, and we will get there.
Thank you very much, sir.
You are welcome.